Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Corner. Today we are going to be reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man. That's right guys, a new TV series from Disney XD. This show was pretty awesome for me. If you're expecting like heavy violence and hardcore action, which I did think there was a lot of action, but you're looking kind of like for an adult oriented cartoon, well, this Spider-Man is not for you. This Spider-Man was made for kids, adults, for the whole family. So keep that in mind when you are watching this TV show if you have not seen it so far. Um, Spider-Man's animations in this particular TV show was pretty darn good. It was pretty to look at. The colors were nice. It is definitely a fun show to watch, and it had me laughing. It was pretty hysterical, and my son, who is 5, actually liked it himself, and he found himself laughing. And this is what you need in a TV show to carry on the next generation of I want to say, comic fans. If we want this hobby to grow and to pass it on to the next generation, well, our children need to be entertained as well, not just the adults, because they're the ones that are going to be carrying it forward. But again, it was an excellent TV show, and I am going to point out some things that I did like about it. And first off, we'll go into again, the character designs. I did like the last episode or the last series that Spider-Man had, which is Spectacular Spider-Man. I did like that series. I did like the animation, but the characters seemed kind of weird the way they were designed. In this series, characters are put together nicely. They're decently detailed, little cartoony, which is fine. I like the cartoon action there, not so realistic to where it's like almost watching a movie. Overall, it was just really nice to look at. Another thing that I did like about the show was the cutscenes in the show. You see a lot of these cutscenes because, as you notice, that Peter is always talking to his audience in the show, and he'll have freeze frames and the background goes black and white, and he discusses the topics of things that's gone on. Another really standout thing was the introduction to all the characters. I thought that was like outstanding. It was kind of like a anime type of thing, kind of like each character, every time they were presented to you, they were shown who their name was and like a little bio of what they did and little characteristics, and they stood out, so it's kind of like you remember them. So it's not only just for you, but it's for the kids now. Remember too, you're going to remember Peter Parker, or you're going to remember Mary Jane, or you're going to remember the Wizard or Luke Cage, and some of those cutscenes are really really funny too, like when Spider-Man came across Nova for the first time and he called himself Buckethead or Nova Creep and things of that nature. It was really cool. You get to meet Flash, and each person had their own little descriptive thing. One of my favorite things about the characters in the show was Aunt May. I liked Aunt May in this version of Spider-Man. The fact being is she's not this old decrepit lady that always hangs around her house. The thing is, she's very active. She's never home, and it gives Peter a chance to go in and out of his house as he pleases. And I like that. I just like the way she was described, how she kicks his ass, and Super or Nintendo Wii and stuff like that. I thought it was really really funny. So again, so when you go into the cut scenes of this show, it was done very very nicely. The overall characters in the show, Spider-Man, obviously you're happy about. Harry Osborn, we've seen him in every single Spider-Man show as of recently. I'm kind of over him, but he is a critical part in the Spider-Man series, so you need to see him. Norman Osborn, of course. You got Dr. Octopus, who's a mystery right now, but he looks like he's got long hair, so he's completely different. I love the Wizard in this series. Thundra was a beautiful character to look at. She was very nice to look at. Who else was in there? The Claw. The Claw was done very good, and the Trapster was kind of like the loser character. He was funny. But yeah, it was a really good characters in there. The one thing I think my initial reaction was the initial Shield people that he's teaming up with. So you got Nova, Luke Cage, or Power Man. It was the White Tiger chick, and oh god, am I missing somebody? Who am I missing? I don't even remember now. But I wasn't expecting those characters, so I was kind of like, oh really? Couldn't they pick some better people? But I do like Nick Fury, and the way him and Spider-Man got together was hysterical, and the way Peter and Dr. Connors met for the first time was hysterical too. Hands missing, all of a sudden he pokes it out. It's kind of like the comical things in there. But it was all right. I mean, the team ups of the whole team, the whole situation. I wasn't expecting a whole team up cartoon, and it looks like that's where it's gonna head up to. But it doesn't bother me either way. It just adds more entertainment to the whole thing, and I'm sure there'll be more characters and things like that as the show goes. The technology that they offered Spider-Man once Peter or Spider-Man joined Shield was a Spider-Man motorcycle, and there's obviously a lot of mystery vehicles and things like that you'll see in the future. And he's got this special web thingy. I'm not into the whole tech thing for Spider-Man because that's not what Spider-Man has always been about. But it's an attraction towards the kids. I know that. It's a marketing thing. They're going to have Spider-Man motorcycles, probably Spider-Man planes, Spider-Man everything, so the kids can go to the stores and be like, look, it's Ultimate Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. So I'm sure that's what it's geared towards. But I'm not fond of the tech because Spider-Man's never been a tech guy. It's always been about his web shooters and this and that. And it was clearly made in the show how he's more fond of just using his web shooters, which is funny. One highlight of the show is Stan Lee continues to make his little, cameos in all his cartoons, and he makes another cameo, which he's a janitor in the show, and he's just hysterical. I just love it. I love it tremendously. What else do we have here? What else do I have to say? That's pretty much about it. The overall show, though, for me was probably about, I don't know, B plus or so. I'm looking forward. I will be definitely watching more of it. I'm looking forward to see how all the characters will be portrayed as the series goes along. Disney XD went through great lengths to add little features to Inside Marvel and how the Hulk was drawn and how all these little tidbits about Spider-Man and things like that. But overall, the show was like a B plus for me. I will be watching it again. I'm not the biggest fan of team ups, but it doesn't bother me. I'm not the biggest fan of the text, but I can learn with it because I feel that a Spider-Man cartoon that is currently running and that's pretty good is better than not having a Spider-Man cartoon at all. So, but that's it. That's all I have to say about Ultimate Spider-Man on Disney XD. Episodes 1 and 2 have already come out. They were released on this past Sunday. If you guys have not checked them out, I'm sure you can probably watch them on YouTube or any other channel right now. And tune in for them on Sundays. I think it's 11 o'clock or 11:30 around there. So check it out if you guys haven't seen it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So that is it for this one. And until the next comic book review, this is Spider Slayer signing off. And thanks for watching Comic Book Corner. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.